The doc is in and he's ready to play ball with today's game, Super Baseball, for your Atari 2600. Let's go ahead and take Super Baseball. Let's pop it in my 7800 Pro system and see if it's super or not. Let's go to the game. Super Baseball was published by Atari. RandomTerrain.com estimates that it was released around August of 1988, meaning it may have been in stores around the same time as Bases Loaded and RBI Baseball for the NES. Super Baseball is an updated version of Real Sports Baseball, which came out about 4 years earlier. Moby Games gives programming credit for both games to Joseph Tung, although it's unclear if he did the updates for Super Baseball or if someone else did. Super Baseball also came out a year or two after INTV Corp began releasing updated versions of their Intellivision sports games using the Super Pro title, which makes me wonder if that is how Atari decided to simply update an old sports game and put Super in the title. The back of the box says the following: "It's the bottom of the ninth. The bases are loaded, and you're up at bat. The visiting team is ahead by 3 runs. You already have 3 balls and 2 strikes, and this next pitch looks like a mean curve. Should you swing, or could this be ball 4 and a free walk to first?" Super Baseball brings the plays and thrills of real baseball to your video screen. As a batter, you could take extra bases or play it safe. As a pitcher, you could throw curves, screwballs, fastballs, or change up pitches. As the outfielder, you can move around the field and catch the ball and make putouts. You will have full control over all the men on the field, so get out there and play ball. That might be slightly exaggerated. Super Baseball is a baseball game for 1 or 2 players, using a title screen menu to select the number of players and who bats first. The game goes a full 9 innings unless there is a tie, which leads to extra innings. The controls are largely the same as Real Sports Baseball, which, to be frank, aren't the easiest to grasp. To swing the bat, you need to move the joystick while holding down the button, pressing up to bunt, and down for home run shots. You can also use diagonal directions to direct these to the opposite side of the field. So for instance, you're supposed to press up and to the left for a weak hit to the right, or down and to the right for a power shot to the left. You can also use straight left and right for a regular hit to the opposite side. Timing of the hit can also have impact on the direction of the ball. When a player hits a power hit, a tone will play. If the defensive player touches the ball, it will be caught for an out. Otherwise, it's a home run. When you have a player on base, you can have them try to steal first by pointing the joystick to the base they're on. For instance, pressing right for the runner on first base, and then pressing right and the button to make them advance, or left and the button to make them retreat. The same controls are used for base running. You press down to take control of the batter again. When pitching, you first move the joystick to select the pitch, then hold the button down and flick the joystick down at the same time to throw the ball. You press up for a fastball, down for an intentional ball, which the computer will never swing at, left for a riser, right for a sinker, and diagonal up in either direction for a curve. If you don't select a pitch before throwing, you will throw a ball. Once you throw a pitch, you can't control the movement of the ball like you can in other baseball games, and honestly, all the pitches kind of look the same no matter what you select. To throw to first, second, or third base as the pitcher, you hold the button down and press the joystick right, up, or left. This also works when fielding, adding down with the joystick to throw to the catcher. Just pressing the button by itself will throw back to the pitcher, which is needed to do to continue on. When the ball is hit, the computer automatically picks a fielder for you to control. If the power tone is active, touching the ball before it stops will catch it for an out. If there is no tone, you play it like a grounder. One thing players discovered is that it was easy to run up scores by bunting and stealing bases constantly in Real Sports Baseball. It seems that Atari tried to fix this by making the defense fast, much faster, to the point that a standard game is now broken, with the computer going from a pushover to impossible to beat. I played a full game, and while the fast defense benefited me shutting out the computer, it also kept me from getting a single hit. There is a small workaround, however. If you put the left difficulty switch in the A position before selecting a game, and select to bat first against the computer's yellow team's defense will slow down enough that you can actually beat them. Your defense will still move insanely fast, to the point that any outfielder can field a ball and run to first base before the batter reaches. It's still harder to successfully bunt against the computer and steal, but it's not impossible. Except I couldn't get a successful straight bunt. I had to use diagonals, which I thought were for hits, but just kind of ended up being bunts instead. I've read that the right difficulty switch can slow down the white team, but I found this to never be the case, even in a two-player game. This basically makes the game almost pointless to play for two players. In addition to speeding up the defense, the game can also allow you to automatically run out a home run, which did not happen in real sports baseball. And the graphics have been changed. I do like the graphics in Super Baseball just a little bit better. What do you think? The one thing I don't like is it now takes forever for the batter to run up to home plate on their turn. The sounds are still pretty basic, except you do get a nice jingle at the title screen, which wasn't in real sports baseball. Family-friendly wise, the game would most likely get an E for everyone rating if released today. Currently at PriceCharting.com, the game has a value of $8 loose, $13 complete, and $13 new. So what did I think of Super Baseball for the Atari 2600? Is it worth playing today? Like real sports baseball, I'm going to have to give this game a pass. What you have here is a game where at least one team will have an unfair advantage, making two-player games not recommended. And while the computer does do better as an opponent, if I had the left difficulty switch in the A position when compared to real sports baseball, he was still fairly easy to beat, or impossible to beat if the switch was in the B position. So in the end, this is a game I don't really want to play anymore in the future, nor can I recommend. So where am I going to rank Super Baseball? Since it's basically a newer version of real sports baseball, I'll put them right next to one another, which is pretty low, with real sports baseball currently being in my rankings at the 241 position. And since my rankings are based on the single player experience, and since with the right setup the computer isn't as much of a pushover here as it was in real sports baseball, I will give Super Baseball the edge, although I'd recommend playing the classic home run instead of either of these games. So out of the 269 games are now ranked for the Atari 2600, Super Baseball is striking out at the 241 position. Super Baseball simply doesn't improve enough on real sports baseball to justify playing it. But that's just what I think. What do you think? Do you like this game? Have any memories of it? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoy videos like this one and you want to support my work, please click like and subscribe. Drop a comment below for the algorithm. And for mega supporters, either become a channel member or sign up at patreon.com/NoSwearGamer. Thank you for giving me a little part of your day, and I look forward to seeing you next time in the next episode of the No Swear Gamer. Take care, everybody.